Do you ever feel completely overwhelmed by parenting, like you're constantly running on empty, juggling a dozen tasks at once? What if I told you our species was never designed to raise children alone? This isn't just a modern feeling, it's a deep biological mismatch. It's an evolutionary reality that has been forgotten. Today, millions of parents experience profound isolation. They battle constant exhaustion. They often face crippling burnout. Every day brings new demands. Sleepless nights become endless. The to-do list never shrinks. Society often whispers that this is normal. We're told to just power through it. We're told to lean in even harder. We strive for perfection. We silently carry immense burdens. But what if this immense struggle isn't a personal failing? What if the problem lies much deeper? What if it's a fundamental clash, a collision between our ancient human biology and the relentless demands of modern life? This video will take you on an incredible journey. We will travel back over 300,000 years. We will explore the true, often surprising history of human parenting. We'll uncover our evolutionary blueprint. You'll discover the biological and historical reasons behind contemporary struggles. You'll understand why parenting feels so incredibly hard. You'll realize you are not alone in this feeling. You are not broken. Your struggle is valid. It points to a profound truth. Prepare to have your understanding of family, community, and support profoundly transformed. We're about to rewrite the narrative of modern parenthood. Imagine a world 300,000 years ago. No paved roads, no skyscrapers, just vast, untamed wilderness. Our early human ancestors roamed savannas and dense forests. They lived a nomadic hunter-gatherer existence. Life was incredibly precarious. Dangers lurked everywhere. Fierce predators stalked the shadows. Saber-toothed cats and woolly mammoths roamed. Food was scarce and deeply unpredictable. Survival depended entirely on the group. Trying to live alone meant certain death. Early humans lived in small bands. These groups typically numbered between 20 and 150 individuals. They were often closely related. These were extended families, tightly knit tribes. They shared everything: food from a successful hunt, water from a precious spring, knowledge of edible plants, tools for survival. And most crucially, they shared child rearing. This wasn't just a helpful idea. It was a fundamental survival strategy for our entire species. Our ancestors thrived because of this collaborative effort. This cooperative model is known as alloparenting. It means other parenting. Many individuals contributed their time and energy. They shared the immense physical and emotional burden of raising the young. Children were truly a collective responsibility. No single parent, especially a mother, was ever left to manage alone. The entire community invested in the next generation. This collective effort was the bedrock of our success. It allowed us to survive harsh environments. It enabled us to grow and flourish. It shaped our very nature. Our social instincts are rooted in this ancient past. We are, by design, deeply communal beings. Human infants are truly unique among mammals. They are born incredibly helpless. This state is called ultrasociality. Compare them to a baby giraffe. A giraffe calf can stand within hours of birth. A human baby takes months to even hold its head up. They need constant round-the-clock care. Our famously large brains are the reason for this vulnerability. Our brains require an astonishingly long period of growth. Much of this critical development happens outside the womb. This translates into a prolonged, highly vulnerable infancy. Human children then face an extended childhood. They need years of dedicated care. They require continuous feeding. They need constant physical protection from harm. They also need continuous social and cognitive teaching. There's also the obstetric dilemma. Our babies have proportionally large heads. Human women's pelvises, designed for bipedalism, are relatively narrow. This makes childbirth exceptionally difficult and dangerous. It was a life-threatening event for both mother and child. It left mothers profoundly vulnerable and exhausted afterward. Recovery took weeks, even months. Who protected the mother during this fragile period? Who gathered food while she was recovering? Who kept watch over the baby? This is where alloparents stepped in. Grandmothers, aunts, older siblings, even unrelated members of the group. They all formed a vital part of the parenting team. This shared responsibility was absolutely vital. It ensured the survival of both mother and child. It dramatically reduced the intense burden on the biological parents. It allowed mothers to recover more quickly. This even enabled them to have more children over their lifetime. This cooperative care was not just a convenience. It was an absolute biological necessity for our species. Our unique physiology and extended childhood demanded this communal approach. Our very survival depended on it. The benefits of this village approach were truly immense. Mothers received crucial physical support. They had precious time to rest and recover. They had help with foraging, cooking, and carrying supplies. Their mental health was profoundly safeguarded. They weren't left alone with the relentless demands of a helpless infant. This reduced stress. It prevented burnout. It fostered emotional well-being. Infants, in turn, received multiple dedicated caregivers. They experienced diverse interactions. They learned different perspectives and skills. This fostered incredibly strong social bonds from an early age. It promoted complex social and emotional intelligence. Child mortality rates were significantly lower. Children were better fed. They were better protected from accidents and predators. The grandmother hypothesis illustrates one crucial role. Postmenopausal women, no longer able to reproduce themselves, didn't just retire. They became indispensable. They shared their immense wisdom and experience. They helped gather vital food. They provided direct, loving care for their grandchildren. This directly boosted the survival rates of their daughters' offspring. It increased the overall reproductive success of the entire group. Older siblings also played a crucial part. They learned responsibility and empathy. They helped look after younger children. This was their practical training for adulthood. Every member contributed in their own unique way. Every role was important. The village ensured everyone thrived. It was an integrated, resilient, and deeply supportive social system. It worked effectively for hundreds of thousands of years. It was the natural state of human family life. It was a testament to our profound interconnectedness. Then came a monumental shift in human history. Around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution began. Humans stopped their nomadic hunting and gathering lifestyle. They started farming. This meant settling down in one place. Permanent villages and eventually towns emerged. Fields of crops replaced wild foraging. Food supply became more predictable, sometimes even abundant. But this shift brought profound changes to social structures. Work became more specialized. People took on distinct roles. The concept of land ownership became increasingly important. Private property rose dramatically in significance. Families became tied to their specific plots of land. They didn't roam freely across vast territories. This transition also introduced new unforeseen challenges. Densely populated settlements led to new patterns of disease. Living in closer quarters spread infections much faster. The ancient communal sharing patterns of hunter-gatherer groups began to subtly fragment. People started relying more heavily on their immediate households. The concept of the family unit became more defined, more insular. While extended families still often lived together under one roof or in close proximity, the broader community's direct daily role in child rearing began to subtly diminish. The seamless, integrated support system started to erode. The close-knit bonds were still present, but the foundation for future isolation was slowly being laid. This was not an overnight change. It was a gradual process. It spanned thousands of years. But it marked the crucial beginning of a profound shift away from our ancient cooperative blueprint. It set the stage for much of what we experience today. The Industrial Revolution, beginning roughly in the 18th century, dramatically accelerated this shift. It was a whirlwind of change. People moved in droves from traditional rural areas to burgeoning smoky cities. They sought work in textile mills, factories, and mines. The traditional, large, extended family unit fractured under this pressure. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins were often left behind in rural communities. The urban environment, though crowded, proved incredibly isolating for many. Fathers, and often mothers, worked long, grueling hours outside the home. They were away for most of the day. This left mothers, or sometimes older siblings, as the primary, often sole caregivers for young children. This was a completely new phenomenon in human history. It placed immense, unprecedented pressure on individual parents. The idea of the nuclear family then took a firm hold. This ideal promoted a household consisting of just two parents and their dependent children. It was presented as as the modern, efficient, and aspirational family unit. It became the societal norm. Post-World War II, this model was further solidified and even romanticized. The rise of suburban living encouraged single-family homes. These homes created significant physical and social separation. Neighbors were often friendly, but they were rarely considered family in the ancient sense. The deep ingrained support network continued to shrink. The myth of the self-sufficient, perfect parent became deeply ingrained in societal expectations. Society began to demand it. This isolated, small family model was now the overwhelming norm. It stood in stark contrast to our evolutionary past. It directly contradicted our ancient biological wiring for collective care. Today, we are living with the profound, often painful consequences of this historical evolution. Parents across the globe feel more isolated than perhaps ever before. Many live hundreds, even thousands of miles from their biological families. They lack immediate access to those essential, built-in, allo-parents. The cost of external childcare is astronomical. It's often prohibitive. Reliable, high-quality options are scarce. Work demands are relentless for both parents. Long hours, tight deadlines, and constant connectivity dominate professional lives. There's little time or energy left at the end of the day. Social media adds yet another insidious layer of pressure. It constantly presents a filtered, often unrealistic ideal of perfect parenting. Images of pristine homes and effortlessly happy children flood our feeds. Parents feel they must do it all perfectly. They must achieve an impossible standard. They feel compelled to hide their struggles. This breeds immense shame. The biological need for shared care, however, has not changed. Our bodies and brains still crave that deep communal support system. But our modern environment actively denies it. The result is unprecedented levels of parental stress. Exhaustion is rampant. Parental burnout is reaching epidemic proportions. Mental health challenges are skyrocketing among new parents. Postpartum depression and anxiety impact countless families. We are biologically wired for community, yet we are forced into profound isolation. This fundamental mismatch is not just inconvenient, it is deeply painful. It creates overwhelming feelings of inadequacy. It fuels relentless guilt. This is not a personal failing on your part. It is a systemic breakdown. It is an evolutionary burden. We are trying to do an impossible job. We are doing it alone. This is simply not how we were meant to live or raise our young. So, if our evolutionary history dictates that we are not meant to parent alone, what practical steps can we take? First and most crucially, acknowledge this fundamental truth. Your exhaustion, your struggles, your feelings of overwhelm are not weaknesses. They are natural, valid responses. They are powerful signals. They indicate that something in our societal structure is fundamentally out of balance. We must stop blaming individual parents for feeling worn out. We must start collectively recognizing the systemic issues that create this isolation. Second, actively seek out and build your own chosen family. This means consciously connecting with other parents. Form local parent groups. Join online communities. Organize practical support networks like meal trains for new parents. Offer help to others. And crucially, learn to ask for it when you need it. Third, advocate for significant societal change. Push for better, more comprehensive parental leave policies. Demand affordable, high-quality, and accessible childcare options for everyone. Support flexible work arrangements that honor family needs. These are not mere luxuries. They are fundamental necessities for thriving families and a healthy society. Fourth, embrace the powerful concept of good enough parenting. Let go of the relentless pursuit of perfectionism. It's an illusion. Your children need a present, cared-for parent. They need a parent who is emotionally available. They don't need a parent who is flawlessly perfect. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of failure. It is an ancient evolutionary strength. It ensures survival. It always has. It's a deep, innate human instinct for collective well-being. It's time to lean into that instinct once again. We have journeyed together through 300,000 years of human parenting. We've traveled from cooperative, supportive tribes to today's often isolated nuclear families. We've uncovered the profound biological origins of our current parenting struggles. The central takeaway is undeniably clear. We were never designed to parent alone. Our modern world relentlessly pushes us towards an unsustainable, solitary model. But understanding this deep historical and biological truth is incredibly empowering. It shows us we are not broken. Our struggle is not a personal deficiency. It is valid. It is a shared human experience. It is a powerful call to action for all of us. We need to consciously and deliberately rebuild our villages. We need to intentionally prioritize community connections. We need to actively seek out and provide support for one another. We must challenge the myth of the self-sufficient parent. Let's create a future where every parent feels supported and seen. How can you start building your own village today? What specific steps can you take to reconnect with the cooperative, communal parenting model that once defined our species? Share your thoughts, your struggles, and your solutions in the comments below. Let's start this vital conversation together. Your voice matters.